All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Monday Halls Live. Man, this is one of my most favorite fun times of the week. So I'm looking forward to just being able to hang out with everybody here tonight. And I've got a pretty cool special guest with me tonight hanging out. MT and Michael Presas had both had a special meeting come up. So they had something else they had to do, but I'm excited to welcome to the program Easyverse NYC. I'm going to bring him out in just a minute, but I want to real quick just go over a couple quick things going on over here at the channel. Again, as you know, welcome to Carlos Collects Comics. This is my little corner of the YouTube comic book community. This is all about me being a fan and just sharing what I've learned about the hobby with my fellow fans and collectors. You're watching Monday Halls Live. This is our Monday night live stream where we go over the past week to week and a half's worth of comic book and pop culture pickups. This is one of our most fun times because we get to just talk about the comics that we've been picking up, why we've been picking them up. And tonight we're going to be doing something really cool because we're going to be sharing some spring break good reads, some recommendations for books to pick up and read this spring break. Now, I know most of us are still working, but still the spirit of spring break is in the air. So it's a great time to pick up a new book and check it out, see what you think. Also, remember, coming up on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Central, we've got the giveaway show. That's our weekly live stream at 10 p.m. Central, where myself and a motley crew of panelists, affectionately known as the Peanut Gallery, get together and we share, we promote generosity in the comic community. We also talk about things that are going on in the comic book community. This week, we're going to be doing something also spring break themed. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite spring break reads, going over a couple of the books you see in the picture, and so on and so forth. And then on Fridays, we've got different Friday features that go live. You can watch videos like the top 10 Booster Gold comics to add to your collection, the top 10 Punisher comics to add to your collection, and things like a brand new monthly series that I've launched that's been going really well called Creator Interview. And this is once a month on the last Friday of the month, and I get a chance to interview in a podcast style live stream different professional working comic book creators. And I can't wait to announce who we've got coming up at the end of this month. Last month we had David Pepos, the current writer for Savage Avengers. He hung out with us for a while and talked about some of the books he's got coming up, including Venom, an issue of Venom, and the Hulk Annual #1, the Hulk Annual, and then Darth Vader Red, White, and Black, or Black, White, and Red, which is all those are coming out in May. So lots of cool stuff going on with him. Also, I want to remind everyone that we've got the Pop Culture Power Show that is going on here in the greater Houston area. It's going to be a really cool comic convention where we're going to have some people like some legendary comic creators like Larry Hama, the man behind the G.I. Joe comic books. We're also going to have Roy Thomas, the successor to Stan Lee, who was co-creator of Iron Fist, many other characters, and a writer on tons and tons of books. So those guys, among many others, are going to be here. If you go to pwrshows.com, you can learn more about it. If you're interested in coming to the actual convention, you can use my discount code Carlos Collects Comics to get 10% off your pass for the weekend, whether it's for the weekend or a one day, whatever it is. And for those who have already bought, using that code, guess what? You don't just get 10% off. You're also going to get a special piece of branded merch that I'm going to be providing to you just as a way to say thank you for doing this. So I am glad that you guys have started to take advantage of it. Remember, if you're in the greater Houston area and you want to go to a really cool comic convention coming up at the end of this month, it's right around the corner, powershows.com, pwrshows.com. Use the discount code Carlos Collects Comics and you get your 10% off and a free gift from me. Hey, what's up, everybody? Man, it's good to see you here in the chat, all of you that are popping up. I'm going to go through the chat right now and just say hi to everybody, and then we're going to bring out Izzy and we're going to get started with things. I'm going to have him tell us a little bit about some of the weekly shows he's got on. He just earlier tonight had his episode talking about what's going to happen when Disney gets a hold of the Punisher. We know Frank Castle's coming back, so I want to hear Izzy's hot take on that. And then you need to go and check out his channel and watch his video from earlier tonight. Make sure you sub up his channel, and then we'll drop a link in here and everything. But let's get to the chat real quick here. All right, look, hey, who is first? Thumbs up here. Card Shop Reality. Hey, he's going to be coming to an episode of Monday Halls Live soon. I'm looking forward to him being on. Jonathan Dotson, what's up? Good to see you. L Green, Larry Green says, hello all, out late shopping, but I'm listening. Nice, good to see you. Southern Comic Geek popping up. He's got a really cool Sunday Cartoon Squad comic auction on his channel. You should also check out his channel. And he's dropping in the hashtag Paul's Fault. Yes, anything that goes wrong here on the channel, sorry, I don't throw him under the bus, but it is Paul's fault. All right, David Spider-Man Dotson says, howdy, what's up? Good to see you. Mary Jimenez, good to see you as well. I've been seeing you in the chat in a bunch of the comic auctions and shows. Good to see you here on this Monday. There's David Spider-Man Dotson popping up again. What's up, Jonathan, my clone? Tony Stank, what's up? Glad that you are here with us as well. Hey, here's Izzyverse NYC. Make sure and click on his little identity there so you can see him. So you can check out his channel. Make sure to jump over there, subscribe, and then come back on over and watch the show. Jonathan Dotson talking to Spider-Man Dotson. There's multiple Dotsons going on in the chat. All right, I don't like comics, hashtag Paul's fault, and then all those emoji things that I don't understand very well. Hey, thanks for acknowledgement. Hey, Card Shop, I'm excited about it. Glad to have you with us. So, hey, thanks to everybody for being here. Let me go ahead and bring out our very special guest. It's taken a little while to get him on, but everything lined up to bring him on. So here is Mr. Izzyverse NYC.
What's up, everybody? How you doing over there? Texas to New York.
Nice.
Nice.
Introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, my name is Izzy. Izzyverse NYC. I've been doing this show for about a year now, and I've been in the business for too long, but been a collector since '87, so over 35 years collecting comic books. But at the same time, I'm also a creator, so I did a few comics a few years back. And do some artwork as an artist, and now I'm at the point of doing the YouTube, talk to people, hang out, and just really having fun. That's really what my channel is about. It's about having fun more than anything, and then educating people on comics, not just comics but wrestling. So there's also wrestling talk in my channel every so often, but it's going to be a busy week, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So Texas to New York to Canada. I see I don't like comics.
He's one of them. So tell us real quick. So you had a provocative title. Tell us a little. Just give us like the synopsis of your episode from earlier tonight.
So, really, there's been a lot of talks a little bit about what's going on with Punisher. Punisher is actually one of my favorite characters. As you can see here, I'm a big Punisher fan. Not so much because of the character, but I think what makes Punisher cool is his supporting cast. If you do a really good Punisher, it's not so much about Frank. It's more about those around Frank.
Nice.
Garth Ennis did a really good job with that in his runs, and that's what made those runs good. But really, the question was, how will Disney handle Punisher? And the reality of it is, they're going to handle Punisher the way they want to handle Punisher. I think at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening is what's best for Disney and what's best for who they believe is the consumer. They're bringing back they're bringing Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? So if you can bring Deadpool, you can bring Punisher. And it's one of those things. Of course, it's one of those moments where you have to say to yourself, will Disney ruin Punisher? And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. Only time will tell. We'll see. I do believe, and that's something we didn't mention in the channel today, I do believe the logo is going to go bye-bye.
Oh, okay. You think they're going to go ahead and say goodbye to it?
I think they're going to say goodbye to it because there's a lot of controversy with that logo. And you from Houston, so I'm sure you see it even more than me. Yeah. We don't really see it like that. It's, up here is very, let's just say, I'm not a political guy. So before we even go there, I'm not political, but we're very heavy on the Democrat side.
Yeah.
up here, and that logo, as much as I love it, this one, you know, a lot of groups have taken it as and made it their own, and I think
Yeah.
the controversy behind the logo, it's not worth bringing back as much as I love and I like the old school logo. I like the circle, you know, that
Yeah. Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
way I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
The actual logo. So
That's right. That's right.
everybody
Yeah,
talks
because it
about this
went
being
through. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, because people don't. It's kind of like the Batman one. People don't realize it's gone through multiple, like, kind
renditions.
of evolution, like change. Like if you lined them up, all you would see it. But I
Yeah.
don't think it's as noticeable because we just look for the skull. But there's been so many of like variations on it.
Yeah, like this version, this movie version, because that's why I call it the movie version, right? The movie
Oh
version is
yeah.
more of a traditional skull,
Right. Right.
where the comic book version isn't like that traditional skull. It's more like it's what's the right term for it? I can't even it has I can't even I don't even know how to say explain it, but it's
But like
not
a
as
rounded.
organic looking. Yeah, it's more rounded. It
Yeah.
has more edge to it. Where this one, the one I'm wearing, it's meant to look more like a skull.
Yeah, so
Um,
I had this like right nearby, so I just grabbed it because I just picked these up in a claim sale. So this was issue 2 of his first ongoing,
yeah.
and look at how like that's so different
Mhm.
just from that to annual number 2, the Moon Knight one.
That's the one that I'm more familiar with.
Yeah,
But
see,
that's
this is the one I know here. Yeah.
yeah.
But just look at how big a difference that is between the two of them.
hmm
I mean, it's
I,
so wild.
I specifically like, I like the Remedia version, John Remedia Jr. version, where it's kind of
Yeah.
like it's part of it's part of the costume where I guess you could say the teeth are kind of almost a thing to it.
Okay, yeah. So I found this one. So this was issue number 4, the first appearance of Microchip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see it there too. They've kind
Yeah,
of
that's
got
what I'm
the
talking about. You see
yeah,
how the teeth are? It's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like part of that belt.
yeah, yeah. So oh yeah, yeah. No, so I've been picking up um I've been picking up some issues, some like from that first run because that's the one that and then that first Punisher War Journal are the ones that I remember, and like
Yeah.
I grew up on that. Really, that the Jim Lee Punisher War Journal run.
Those are great.
That
Those
yeah,
are great.
I had a chance to meet Carl Potts and like I think Punisher War Journal 6 and 7,
Mhm.
his first meeting with Wolverine,
Mhm.
the first fight, one of the most underrated comic book um set like runs of all time. And it was only 2 issues for
It
that
was
whole
only 2
storyline.
issues.
Yeah.
It came out back in '89. I remember when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember picking them up. I actually have 2 copies of that book. But I remember when it came out, it was a big deal when it came out because it was their first meeting, and it was weird because both of them have been around for quite some time too. So both Punisher and Wolverine, came out in the mid '70s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're talking '89, and they never met.
Yes. I
So
know.
that was a big deal. So it's like
Yeah.
they never met, and we don't get mass Wolverine. We get like savage Wolverine.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember it, and this was right at the dawn of Jim Lee's height. So Jim Lee wasn't there yet at this time. In fact, if you look at the cover, you'll see Jim Lee's signature. It's completely different to how he signs today.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
actually more of like his traditional signature.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So when that book came out, it was a big deal. This is where everybody was talking about that book. And I think it had a high print run. That's why you don't see it demanding so much money. Like
Right. Yeah.
because it did had a higher print run because it was like first meeting, Punisher, Wolverine. We've never had this. We got to see this fight. And it really was a good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that hands down one of the best. I mean, like it was just so well done. Everything about it, like the story made sense, the setting made sense, the way they met made sense. Everything about it just worked, and I think that's a huge credit to the to Carl Potts, the writer, who was also, I think, at the time editing the ongoing series.
Yeah,
because he was writing War Journal.
I do believe Jim Lee was on the ongoing series, and then he went to Journal, but that made it so that, you know, someone in Marvel said, well, this guy could draw Wolverine really damn good. Let's just put him on an X-Men book. And that's kind of like where, because he didn't stay in Journal. I don't think he went past that issue. I think that was his last issue. I'm not sure about it, but I'll have to double check for sure.
Who, Jim Lee?
Yeah. I don't know how many issues he went.
Did covers after that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think he started getting, you know, like he shot up after that.
Oh no, yeah, because it was awesome just looking at it. You know, that time you didn't get artists like that. You know, that particular era is a golden age for artists to be quite, because we got Jim Lee, we got Todd McFarlane. Hey, say what you want to say. We got Rob Liefeld, but people loved Rob Liefeld that time, man. People loved him, and he did something. His looks did something. And then you had guys like, you know, you had other guys that are out there that were still luring around, you know, George Perez, Arthur Adams. They were still there, but it was something about those three. And then you even throw Wals Padacio, you throw him into that mix. He was more of an inker before he was a traditional penciler, but you throw that stuff, you throw those guys out, and you're like, damn, comics had some good artists. And then from moving on, that's it, man. And then they became Image and so forth. So it was a pretty big time in the 80s, the late 80s. Yeah, I was so happy to be part of it as a fan. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. Well, hey, that was just a quick tidbit of just discussion. Make sure you go check Izzy's channel out. It is Izzyverse NYC here on YouTube. Hop away, open up another window. Make sure you hit him up, subscribe to his channel. And let's see, Izzy, you are up. Let's see, you're on every Monday. Like, what's your broadcast schedule?
So my broadcast schedule is Monday 6:30 Eastern. Okay. I forgot you guys are in Houston, man, with different time zone here.
Yep.
Over here, guys, is 11:23. But I like to do the show every Monday 6:30. That's good. That's the norm. So if you ever want to watch the show, you watch it Monday 6:30 Eastern. I guess that's 5:30 for you guys over here, over there in Houston. We haven't failed. I also have a co-host. His name is Josh. He's kind of, I guess you could say he's my straight man because I'm the clown in the group. And if it's Pacific, I guess it's gonna be 4:30. You know what I mean? And you're gonna get a nice
3:30,
show.
3:30.
3:30. Oh yeah, that's Pacific.
2 hours behind
Mountain.
us.
Oh man.
Yeah.
going across US. I have some subscribers from the UK, so I'm okay with that. And I think I got some India guys too, but I don't even know what's going on over there. But yeah, it's just it's meant to be a fun show. It's not meant to take things seriously. We don't take things seriously. We crack on as much stuff as we want to because everybody else is doing their own poll list. Everybody is doing their things. I like talking about the comics. I enjoy talking about the comics.
Yeah.
I also like knocking on the comics because comics are they're originally made to make people laugh, and that's why they were called the funnies. And it's always a blast seeing a comic book, and especially when it's like an event comic, and things will never be the same. So we make a joke on it. Things will never be the same, or you know, what's gonna happen to Peter Parker and Mary Jane? How are they gonna screw them over again? Which I think is happening right now. I hate that story right now. I'm starting to hate it more than one more day right now. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm getting that kind of vibes.
I haven't kept up with it, but that's already sounding like
I think Zeb Wells had an idea, but we've been waiting 21 issues for this idea to come to fruition, and now I think it's become bigger than the idea. So now we have this problem where no matter what it's gonna be, it probably won't live up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, it's Spider-Man and the Supernatural, which Spider-Man's not a supernatural guy. Keep him urban. You know, he likes fighting street thugs. That's what he needs to fight. You know, so we'll see how it turns out. I've been wronged before. I see Mr. Collector 123 likes the logo. Thank you. and it reminds him of the band Chevelle. Man, I love Chevelle. I never even noticed that when I was creating that logo, but I do like the band Chevelle, man. Good rock band. That I would listen to every so often. So thanks for that.
Yeah, Mr. Collector is one of our panelists on Wednesdays for the for the giveaway show. So he's always got the inside scoop on a lot of different things going on.
Awesome.
But yeah, hey, y'all check out Izzyverse. It's at Izzyverse NYC. You can find him here on YouTube. Make sure you sub him up. And big thanks to him for being on. We're going to go ahead and get started showing off some of the books that we've got. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. So, Izzy, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to show a couple small stacks, and then real quick, and then I'm going to end my first round with my reading recommendation. Then I'll come over to you to show off a few books and your reading recommendation. Then I'll come back for my final stack, and then you can do a second round if you want to also.
Sure, that'd be cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I took a few books in my collection here that I think worth taking a look at. So yeah, absolutely.
Nice. All right, I'm looking forward to it. So hey, check it out. We're doing some spring break reading recommends. I'm going to get to that in just a second because I finally had a chance to start catching up on my comic reading. Guys, thank you for being here. Guys, thank you all for being here. I know, exactly. So these, I just went by my one of my LCSs, the one that's right here by the house, earlier today, and picked up. This is Blue Beetle Graduation Day, issue number 4. This is the cover A, and I also picked up cover B, which was pretty cool. And I hadn't gotten this from had not gotten it from my other LCS. I also been real intrigued with what they're doing with Action Comics. So I picked up issue number 1051, which I showed last month, but I did go ahead and pick up. This is a really cool negative space variant of sorts for issue 1052. So I picked this is cover A, and I picked this up. Also snagged the second printing of 1051, which is the first appearance of the twins and the first part of the Power Girl Reborn storyline, the backup story. Also, I couldn't pass up on this facsimile. Everybody's doing facsimiles now. This facsimile by Dynamite of the original Darkwing Duck #1. Lots of fun here. If you're not picking up the new series and you're a fan of Darkwing, you got to get it because it is a huge heaping helping of nostalgia. And Darkwing Duck was my favorite part of the Disney afternoon. Him and Robo-Duck were just two of my favorites. I also, this was something that was kind of neat that I thought that Disney was doing for their 100th anniversary, these variants. So this was the Incredible Hulk variant. And so I went ahead and picked this one up. It's just this was definitely a cover buy and something. It may end up as a giveaway on the giveaway show, but we'll wait and see. If people really are a big fan of it. I did not get the first one that was, I think it reprinted Avengers #4. So I got these two books, I think in an Instagram claim sale, a copy of Spider-Man #26 for my Spider-Man.
That's a good one.
This one's a pretty cool one. The hollow or the foil on it is actually in pretty good shape, which it's hard to get, like, for all these little foil cards they used to do in the 90s. Man, these things got scuffed, scratched, peeled, everything.
I can tell you what's the trick of maintaining them. You want to know what the trick?
No.
Tissue.
Wait, what?
You put tissue.
Nice. I wouldn't have thought.
You cover it with tissue, and it keeps it nice and clean. So
this thing is like pristine. Like, I don't know how it even. Yeah, this is wild. It's even better than I thought it was. Also picked up Secret Wars #3 in a newsstand. This is I don't know. I'd put it like at a 7.0, give or take. But I've grabbed a few copies of these. Secret Wars 2 is the only one I don't have of all the Secret Wars storylines. All right, then a shout out to fellow panelists here on the channel, and friend in the community, Teresa Newell. I bought a couple of books from Teresa in a claim sale. I'm not sure which two I bought. Swamp Thing Winter Special was definitely one of them. I did buy this one. I've been wanting to catch up on my Swamp Thing reading, and so I wanted to grab this one. So this looks like a cool story, and decided to grab it. It's an 80-page giant prestige format. I also, I think the other one I might have bought was, I don't know which one did I buy. So I got in the bundle, because two of these were AOK books and two I bought. So this is this is the variant cover for Blue and Gold #1. This is the teaming of Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
That's a nice one.
I've been over the past, I'd say 2.5 years, have been picking up and stacking Booster Gold books ever since, because Jaime Reyes is one of my Hispanic superhero characters that I collect. I'm real big on Hispanic superheroes. And so Booster Gold just kind of came along with it. I started getting into his early stuff, reading it, picking it up, and had like a stack of Booster Gold #1s because they were so inexpensive. And then all of a sudden they blew up. Right after I gave one away, a newsstand copy away for the giveaway show, and Larry Green won those. So that was really cool. That was really cool to see that happen. So this is Justice League of America #136. Really neat Batman and Joker cover here. And I think this was an AOK in Teresa's package. And then the big AOK that she sent me was, I had not read it, but I wanted to after the announcement from James Gunn. So she sent me, just as an AOK, an act of kindness, she sent Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow #1.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, this is a really good one to have right now. I did also, to get the rest of the series, I did go ahead and pick up the whole thing on Kindle, on Comixology, and so I've been reading it, and wow, that is a very different take on Supergirl. Somehow I missed it. I didn't even realize this had happened.
So I know a little bit about that book only because when I started doing the channel, it was at the end of its run, and there was a little buzz with it, but not a big buzz. Obviously, the James Gunn effect of it all caused the book to spike. So, and I'm sure it had a low print run. So, that's probably the deal with that book. Yeah, man. So
yeah.
So you ready? You want me to go ahead and do something? I got a little stack that I grabbed too.
Let me do one more quick thing real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so here's my reading recommendation for y'all. So if y'all are into independent books, there is a very interesting story that's popped up. It's put out by Ablaze, and so it's called Traveling to Mars. I had read the first issue when it came out about 3 months ago now, and really liked it because it had a poignant, it had kind of like he was like a ne'er-do-well type of loser character who all of a sudden became super, super prominent because of his form of cancer. His rare form of cancer that was killing him actually made him the perfect person for a one-way trip to be the first human being on Mars. And so it's definitely got a comedic flair to it, but lots of heart. And here's the thing. I read the first issue. I recommended it. I continued to pick up the issues, but I hadn't had a chance to read them. Wow. So I finally had a chance to read them this past week. So I wanted to just share. So this is Traveling to Mars, issue #2, the A cover. And then Traveling to Mars, issue #3, the A cover. So it has a very kind of eclectic art style to it, by Roberto Melli. But I'll tell you, Mark Russell hit it out of the park with the story. It is, in a comedic, whimsical fashion, it is a really deep exploration of just humans, like a human being coming face to face with his own mortality, and just how we react to it, and just kind of this. I mean, it was it kind of had some emotional punch to it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't quite expecting as well. The very end of the first issue ends with him saying that he wished he had seen his mother in person one more time before he left the planet. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of comedy to it, but it definitely has a lot of heart. And as it gets further on, because I've read issues 2 and 3 now, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, there's something here. And so I highly recommend picking it up. It's not like really on anybody's radar. You know, the whole option machinery hasn't grabbed it yet or anything. It's just a really strong story, a really cool character, and I'm really interested in seeing where they take this, because it's watching this character, you know, who knows he's going to die, go through this whole process, you know, of and he's just kind of, you know, and the supporting cast too is pretty decent, and just kind of the little touches they put on it. So solid reading if you're looking for something to pick up and read this spring break. This is my reading recommendation for Monday Hauls. I'll have a different reading recommendation for Wednesday night, but Traveling to Mars, definitely worth picking up. If your local comic shop has 50% off sales going on right now, I know there's a lot of them that are doing it, or you may be able to find the back issues and get them at 50% off. It's a cool book. And just as an aside, they are doing homage covers to some of the big Interstellar Marvel covers that are out there. So issue number 2 had a Silver Surfer #1 homage cover, and they're calling it parody covers, but you know, it's an homage. And then issue number 3, which I got, it has a Nova #1 homage cover, which I did not find, and I didn't realize it until after it came out. And they have all the variants, you know, which is not a lot of them, but they have the variants listed in the back of the book. So, you know, cool book. Definitely something that I was very intrigued by. Y'all know that I like, you know, books that sometimes kind of have a spiritual flair to them, or go into theology. And I think, yeah, the other book that I had recommended before that wrapped up a couple of maybe a couple months ago, Sacrament from AWA Upshot.
I heard about that one.
Really solid book here. Hoping they're going to do more with it. I've had some conversations with the folks over at AWA Upshot. Really cool group of people, and I'm looking forward to maybe having some of their creators on the show, on the channel, in the coming months. I'm pretty excited about that, because they've been very receptive.
Yes.
So that's my round. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Izzy, because I can't wait to see what he's got. So, and hey, for those, yes, El Green, Local Man is on. I did pick it up, and it is on my reading list. Can't wait to share it with y'all. Let's see. And then Jonathan Dotson says he'll look for it this weekend. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fun read, and you should be able to find all the books at cover price or less. I'm not a variant chaser, but for a series that I really like, I will get the variants, and generally it ends up being a good thing. You know, I remember I really fell in love with Something is Killing the Children when it first came out, so I went back and picked up the variants, and that turned out pretty well. But yeah, as a rule, I don't chase variants unless it's for a character that I really like, or it's just a cool looking cover still. But I gave up trying to get all the variants for different books.
There's too many.
No. All right, so here is Izzy verse.
Okay, all right. So let's get. So what I end up doing, I end up just taking. I have a stack here. So since I do my weekly pull list, I grab as many books as I possibly can and do my best to read as many as possibly can. But I have a very, very busy schedule to the point that I don't get to read as much. So I pick up and then I try to, catch up as a binge reader. But I'll show you all the stuff I did pick up, and if I read it, I'll tell you about it. I picked up the same book you did, Action Comics, right? Yeah. Action Comics 1052. I just love this cover. I love the negative space, but it's the blue and the red that looks really cool. So I did pick that up. A book that I went nuts picking up. I actually have multiple copies of this book, and I'm actually selling them on eBay. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 5. So I have a few of these. It's so funny because I do keep track because for the show I keep track on who has their number ones list. So I keep track of Key Collector, CBSI, and Collector Price. And for 3 weeks in a row, this book has been the number one book
Really?
because of the Dream Spider character, which is actually a pretty interesting character. But I can't seem to move it on my off my eBay list. So, oh well. And you were talking about those homage Disney covers. Well,
Yeah.
here you go. I got 3 of them. I got the
Nice.
first 3. These are going to be part of a grab bag that I'm going to do. So once the full collection is done, I'm going to actually give this to one of my viewers. And I like them. I just have one problem with them. And that problem is, and I see Manny the Hobgoblin Collector. I know who you are, Manny. What's going on, dude? The problem I have with them is that why do they all have to be Amazing Spider-Man? That's my problem. And then to make matters worse, or to add insult to injury, is that not a single one of those books are a Spider-Man homage.
Right.
I don't get it. It's baffling to me. Like, at least give me an Amazing Fantasy or Amazing Spider-Man number
I
1
know.
homage.
I
But
know.
what you do, Avengers, you do Hulk, you do Fantastic Four, you're gonna do Infinity Gauntlet, you're gonna do Iron Man, and you cannot give me a Spider-Man homage. I don't get it. I just don't get it. All right. I also picked up. I thought this was like a really cool variant. I'm like you. I'm not crazy about variants, but there are variants out there that I do like. So I'm not. I'm more of in lines of if it's a beautiful variant, I'll get it.
Yeah.
I did pick this one up, which I thought was
Ooh.
really cool. This is Avengers 66. This is supposed to be, and there's supposed to be another one coming out this week. So there's like a second one. So this is a pretty cool one. It's kind of like Lego versions of Avengers, but if you really look at it, it's not just Avengers in this. There's some X-Men characters. There's some.
Oh wow.
You have a little Watcher right here. As like you can see, a little Watcher right there. I like Surtur. That's a cool one. So this is a cool book. I did pick extra copies. I picked up. Of course, I had to pick up Avengers of Superman number 1, John Kent. So I picked
Right.
up this one. I picked up Clayface.
Oh,
One
yeah,
Bad Day.
Yeah.
That came out this week. This is another example of a cover that it immediately draw my attention. It's not going anywhere. I don't know, but I think this has some potential. I picked up this Stormbreakers book.
Nice.
Look at that. Just
Wow.
it's first of all, it's black and white, which I love black and white,
Yeah.
and I love the way it looks. But this Stormbreaker, I'm trying to remember which book this was. It was which comic book it was, but I don't know. You can't go wrong with Jenny Frison, the
No.
Harley
Yeah.
Quinn. So that was pretty nice. Harley, of course, Blue Beetle, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Hyman, man. I do love Hyman. I do have Infinite Curses. I have his first appearance, so I have that one. Also, I have Timeless. Now, of course, green screen's gonna mess this thing up, but the Timeless Hallows Eve, the Green Goblin, and I do have another one. And I'm actually gonna get another Hallows Eve variant from my friends at Comic Exposure. I just gotta meet up with him.
Nice.
Speaking of Punisher, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Nice.
So, that I guess we'll stop there. I still have a few more.
Yeah.
I still have a few more comics that I'll show you, and then I'll show you some trades. I'm not a trades guy, so I'm a floppy guy.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
35 years doing this, you just get you. My goal is always getting the comic book. If I can't read the comic book, I'll probably just Comixology or something like that.
Right.
But
right.
but I'm not a trades guy. It's just not my thing to get trades. I get it. Nothing against anybody getting trades. I'm a floppy guy. I like waiting that month to get a copy. You know what I mean? It's a little part of me. So I'll share with you guys what this stack is after you go ahead.
Nice.
Or should I do one of the trades, since I ended up getting a few of them?
Yeah, do it. Do one of your
Summer.
reading recommendations.
I'll do. Okay, I'll give you two of my reading recommendations. We'll
All right.
stick to DC for this one. So, you can't go wrong with a little bit of Hush,
Oh yeah.
right? Now, what's interesting about this book is everybody talks about Jim Lee, right? Jim Lee, Scott Williams, everybody talks about him. What people don't talk a lot about is Jeff Loeb. Now, Jeff Loeb, I think he is considered a bit controversial of how he writes. Like his storytelling is not always the best. But one thing Jeff Loeb, I think, does better than almost anybody I know is he knows his artists, and he knows what fans want from his artists, right? So when he wrote this for Jim Lee, he said, "How can I get everybody in this book?" And we got everybody. And not only did we get everybody, we forget this is really where Jason Todd first showed up. If you remember the book, the story is the return of Jason Todd. We all know it was kind of a joke, and it was Clayface at the end. Spoiler alert, sorry guys. But it's the first time we get to see Jason Todd returning since his death. So definitely worth reading. A book that I always recommend to anybody, whether you're a comic book reader or not, this book to me is a perfect book for someone that doesn't read comics, that needs to understand comic books. And I had the pleasure to interview the artist of this book. I also got a chance to talk a little bit with the writer of this book, and I had the artist in my show, so if you ever go into my show, you'll see the artist. But it's Identity Crisis, man. This book is freaking amazing. It is one of the best reads you could have because it takes the concept of being a superhero. This is what Heroes in Crisis wanted to be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It wanted to be this.
Yeah, no, yeah, you nailed it.
But it wasn't. And I have a great interview with Rags Morales. You got to see it, man. Rags
did you get him?
We talked. It was it was through a Zoom meeting, and Rags is like, he is eccentric. He is a star. Let's just say that much. But this is the book I share to anyone that doesn't read comics. If you don't read comics and you want to know why superheroes are such a cool thing, read Identity Crisis, because this gives us everything. There's suspense. There's mystery. They made us care for a character that nobody cared about. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right in the beginning. And it's like, it's almost like you saw the writing on the wall where they were going with this, but you didn't know how they were going to. And then when it finally happened, when, Sue Dibney, when, the death of Sue Dibney, you actually felt it. You were like, I can't believe what you said did. They made you love Sue Dibney. And then the twists and turns and everything, that comes with the story. This is by far, from this generation, this is the best read I have to say. Yeah. So we'll stop there because I got 3 more books to share after.
Very cool.
A little different from the mix.
Man, yeah. Hey, we're like on the same wavelength because, also 100% agreed. All right.
And Michael Turner's art in the covers.
Oh yeah. And then check this out. I was fortunate enough, the same night in Houston, Texas, about 55 minutes apart from each other, they were both in town.
Sweet.
So
That's awesome.
Rags signed it the same night. And then the thing was, I told Rags that I was going out to Brad's signing, because Brad was signing for the kids book series that he did at a Books A Million, and Rags was at a local comic shop, but he was in town for a convention. I told him me and my wife met up, had a date night, and we both got books signed by Brad Meltzer. And then later on Instagram, I saw a picture of the two of them. They had gotten together and hung out for a late dinner after both of their signings. So that was kind of cool to see that they still stayed in touch and stuff. And but yeah, not only do I have my trade, but I've also got individual issues signed.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, dude, I love that series. And yeah, I totally echo everything that Izzy said about it. Yeah, absolutely pick it up if you haven't read it. And that's a great way to say it, that if you're not normally a comic book reader, read that one, because it takes you to a whole different level. And then yeah, just the explanation of the whole secret identity thing. It takes something that could have been quaint and cheesy and flip-flops it into something real and solid. So
it was so serious, man. And
it was, yeah.
What the moment where Tim Drake's dad.
Yes.
Oh,
that is like,
and Batman's rushing to get to him.
Yes, I get chills. And then Batman just methodically is going through, Barbara, call Wally. You know, and he's you can see his mind working. How can we get to him fast enough? And I mean, just the tension and one of the best scenes. And then the death scene for Firestorm is so, like, it's so small, but it's so impacting in there, how they're retelling it, and how his he was just a complete professional about it, and they'd always kind of made fun of him, whatever. Yeah, just so many good things about this series. It's well worth picking up. If y'all haven't read it yet, absolutely do it. I don't understand some of the hate it gets, even from a talented artist.
Really?
Yeah, it got Alex Ross got upset about it and was going on and on about it. And I get that. I could kind of get it, but I also was like, I think y'all took this way out of. I
have to look into that, because I actually am not. This is the first time I hear about this.
No, it was a little bit. It is a little bit of a controversial story, but I think it's unwarranted. And I think that the only reason it became controversial was because this one creator decided to get angry about it and start talking about it. And it was I thought he was out of line and it was off base, but he has a much bigger following, so there's people that listen. So but yeah, I do not agree at all with him, and I completely agree that it's a brilliant story. I mean, because where else can you find a true, well-crafted murder mystery in a superhero comic book?
And done to the point that I think at the end, when it was all said and done and we find out who was the actual murderer, I don't think that mattered as much anymore. Right. When we got to that end, we didn't care anymore about it. We just cared about this, like, where the twists and turns that kept going, the cliffhangers, right? This book is one of those books as you read it, it really is a month to month type of read. Yes. Because it has those moments like Deathstroke scene, how he systematically just took out the JLA. Systematically. And it was so perfect. And then little things that as you watch it, as you read it for the first time, you don't see it. And then when you find out later, you're like, how did I not see that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it is absolutely a stellar read. Stellar read. So y'all make sure to check it out, pick it up. Okay.
And go check out the video, Rags Morales interview. How he met Brad is an interesting story. So you gotta see it. Like, he was saying that they went like into like this special room in the DC offices, and it was kind of like I don't know if you remember Get Smart, where it was like going to different types of rooms to get to him. So you got to hear that story. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
It's an interesting story. So watch it. It's a great video. It's in the channel. I'll see if I can find a link to it, and I'll put it in the channel. So
Drop if you drop it in the private chat, I can share it out to the chat, and people can check it out. And also drop a link to your YouTube page, like a direct link just to your YouTube page, and I'll make sure and share it out over here. So hey, so we got also so I've got my next couple stacks of books. I'm gonna blaze through. So recently in an episode of the Affordable Auctions over on the Strictly Comics channel, I picked up a stack of Uncanny X-Men books. These are all, they're all about mid-grade-ish or so. Some really decent books. And this is right in my time period. So this is Uncanny X-Men number 151. Uncanny X-Men number 152. Uncanny, this is one of my favorite single issues from the Kitty Pryde run, issue number 153. This is where she imagines the X-Men as swashbucklers in her own little cartoon world. Uncanny X-Men number 154, Starjammers. And then number 155, even more Starjammers, 156. This is a complete run all the way through, 157, Dark Phoenix. Here is 158, Rogue, just letting Wolverine have it. 159, Vampire Storm. Vampires. I'm not sure. And then last one here, 160. So I picked these all up from Mr. Collector because my personal collection Uncanny X-Men run was a little bit lean. I'd sold off some books from it, but saw this nice little stack that he had for sale and decided to go ahead and get it. But my favorite, just as a quick note, is my favorite of the X-Men Kitty Pryde ones is the one where she faces the Brood alone in the mansion on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, oh, it's such a.
I have that book. I haven't read it in a long time, so you can't even tell me what it is. But yeah, I have a huge X-Men collection. We were just doing a rearranging, reorganizing. Let's just say we're not finished. We're not even halfway through. But the amount of boxes of X-Men comics I own is insane because again that was our thing, you know. X-Men is not getting the love that they used to get anymore, you know, but before, I guess you could say before the 2000s, it was all about X-Men. That's it. Everybody had X-Men. Everybody wanted X-Men. That's all anybody wanted. So I wish it comes back, you know what I mean? So
yeah. No, and I think it's just going to take them getting introduced on film and TV, and hopefully they'll keep their name. But I don't know. We'll see. I've heard all those rumors.
I think the cartoon, the return of the cartoon, will probably bring back excitement for the X-Men because they're awesome.
Yes, that's right.
We're not that far away from the cartoon. All right, I guess we're gonna go with round 2.
Well, I'm gonna finish. I do have one more stack.
Go for it.
We switch angles here just to, you know, when somebody's talking, just to give them let the audience keep track of it. Okay, so this is another stack I got from Comics for Cheap on Instagram. Lots of books for cheap, just like it says. Comics for Cheap with an X and a 4. And he has, I think, Tuesday and Thursday claim sales, all different types of books. So, and I like to just snag books here, and and a lot of it's nostalgia pickups. But this wasn't. This was the Booster Gold #1 from Convergence. So decided to go ahead and snag this.
Nice Dan Jurgens right there.
Yeah, decided to grab that for the Dan Jurgens, man. I'm looking for a signing with him coming by. Right now, I'm doing pretty well with all the signings coming through the greater Houston area. We're going to have Larry Hama, Roy Thomas, Art Adams. Because my classic X-Men run, I want to get all those signed by Art Adams.
I love Art Adams is absolutely my favorite artist.
Yeah, I feel like he's just really, really underappreciated. He really is.
He's been around for a very, 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 very long time.
yeah, and I mean, just fantastic art. So here is Daredevil Annual. This is Daredevil Annual number 7 from 1991. This is the crossover, the Von Strucker Gambit, with a title by with a title or a cover art by Mike Mignola. Punisher number 62. I've been picking up little bits and pieces of the original Punisher run, like I shared. Punisher number 62. Namor number 1. I'd gotten very interested in Namor when they decided to retcon him into a Hispanic superhero for the film. I know not everybody was a fan.
Well, I have that one.
I'm an automatic fan of any Hispanic superheroes that have an interesting tie to their culture and history.
Yeah.
GI Joe Order of Battle #3. I do have a legend. I'm building a full run of GI Joe. Didn't have any of the Order of Battles, but decided to pick this one up. I do have a Nightwing run from the original, because that's the original early '90s Nightwing run is what got me back into comics in my 20s, and so I've
Scott McDaniel run.
Yep. The Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel. Chuck Dixon, full disclosure, I've reached out to him and I'm trying to get him to come on the show, but he has his own YouTube channel. It's massive. He's got I don't know that he has a reason to come on, but I just want him to come. And Chuck Dixon, if you ever see this, I just want you to come because I'm such a huge fan of your 90s Bat Family work. I know that you've done a ton of other stuff, but I love that stuff.
Well, you talk about Punisher. He was a big Punisher writer too for a while.
Yeah, no, I mean he's done so much, but for me that kind of the Tim Drake Robin run, the Nightwing run, the Birds of Prey run, and then some of the Batman stuff, to me just was fantastic. He did so well weaving all those titles together. Okay, so here's Nightwing #147.
Oh, I got that book. I remember that one.
For my personal run, Nightwing #142, Nightwing these are all books I did not have in my personal run. #143, #144. This is getting towards the end of that run, and then #145 here. So those were all pickups that I wanted to add. Also I've been picking up Deathlock because he's one of my favorites. This is Deathlock issue #2 from that infamous 90s series. #1 had that foily silver goodness. So I've snagged some of these books. As always, anytime I see it, I have to pick up my Zorro books, because Zorro is the grandfather of Hispanic superheroes. So I'm always looking for these Marvel Zorro books because I'm looking to build a run. Iron Man, I have also started picking those up because any Iron Man books with this masthead are in my nostalgia wheelhouse as well. And, foil 90s goodness.
Yeah. I personally like the red and silver suit. I'm always been a fan of the red and silver suit.
Dude, yes, you and I are so much on the same wavelength. It's crazy.
I wanted to see that suit in the movie, and I think we kind of got it, but we kind of didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't count that as you're talking about the suitcase armor one.
Well, the suitcase armor wasn't really. I don't count that because of the shoulder pads that suit had. Right, that suit had a specific shoulder pad look.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm with you on it that I don't count it, but I absolutely love that red and silver suit. I forgot what they call it. It definitely has
Silver Centurion.
It's a Silver Centurion, but it's like a mock. Yeah. I'm trying to remember which mock is it.
Oh, the mock. I don't know that.
Yeah, the mock number. I'm not sure what it is.
I also picked up. So Final Crisis I think this is #1, but this is a director's cut.
Oh, cool.
And, for like $1, I was like,
yeah.
Why not?
J.G. Jones is a really good guy, man. He's a good guy.
Wait, who?
J.G. Jones, the artist.
Dude,
he's a good guy.
He is an amazing artist. Okay, 52.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he did 52 weekly covers for a year-long series. I mean, I'm astounded, and they're all good. And then he switched up his styles. Like some of them were that Art Deco style. Some were. I mean, he went all over the place. It was fantastic work. I mean,
he's definitely being creative.
Yeah. I mean, he's key guy. Okay, so I like to pick up photo covers sometimes in case I have a chance for a signature. This is the Flash Season 0 #1 with a nice photo cover. Then I've got a stack of Deadman books here that is going to finish out my round for this episode. So this is Deadman #2. Deadman #3.
Oh, that's a classic one right there.
Yeah.
Magnolia.
Deadman #4.
Another
really
one.
Cool Stark red cover. Then Deadman #6. Deadman #7. Deadman #8. Deadman #9. And then this was a really interesting series that I stumbled across that I think I'm going to put together. So it's called Dead Man, Dead Again, and it's Dead Man visiting these kind of famous deaths in the DC universe. So this one, issue number 2 is Dead Man and Robin, a family funeral, and that's the famous.
Wow.
It's a recreation of the famous death of Robin, Death in a Family. Yeah, the Jason Todd death. And then issue number 3 of that run, Dead Man Superman, Dead Again, a retelling of these are all told from Dead Man's kind of perspective.
Yeah.
The death of Superman, which I thought was really interesting. And then Dead Man and the Spectre. And this was issue number 5 of 5. This was the final one where, because, the Spectre was also, quote unquote, killed or, he's the Spectres were re-risen.
Yeah, they always make it like Hal Jordan. Now I hear that the Spectre's going to be Alfred, which I'm like, please, no.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. I had not heard that, but that would be really, really
that's
interesting.
Pass.
So let me. I'm going to bounce it back over to you, Izzy, so
right.
you can finish this out.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you some books in this collection here. Some of some more newer books, but then I'm going to give you some nice little gem items. You know what I'm saying? So I have here a book that I picked up. I think I picked it up this week or last week. Nightwing 100, just classic homage to the Dark Knight, the Batman animated series. I thought this was really cool. All right, this is second printing. Peach Momoko goodness. X-23 Regenesis. Pick that one up. All right. Another Peach Momoko variant. This is Spider-Gwen's Shadow Clones. This one just came out not that long ago.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a comic book shop where I live nearby, and the owner, he's like, he just, his comics are just there. He's not concerned of the value of the books. He pretty much just has them laid there. He's not trying to maintain them. They're not bagged and forth. In fact, they're still in the original boxes, right? So,
oh wow!
Every so often I'll go there, and because I'm like, I know he has something that's hiding, right? So I did pick up a few books that he had hiding, and among them was this Joker book, Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue 4. This is the famous Joker pregnant book. So I picked this up just because, just to say I had it. There's just certain books in your collection that you just say you want to have.
Right,
this is one of them, right? No one's talking about it anymore, so it's over, right? The discussion's over. Immoral X-Men number 1. I'm interested in hearing more about Sins of Sinister. Sinister is actually another character that I can't wait to see live action, because there's so much potential with that character. Another book that I picked up that I was like, oh, it's a number 1. Might as well give it a shot. Betsy Braddock, Captain America. So those are the books. Those are the new books I picked up. Now, what we have here are special edition books or exclusive retailers that I picked up in a convention or something like that. I got me Action Comics, the facsimile foil. Look at that. It's kind of hard with the green screen going on.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a foil. It looks really nice. And of course, Action Comics wouldn't be complete without Detective Comics. So I got Detective Comics.
Wow. And where are those from?
So these are exclusive foils. These are 2 Comic-Con exclusives that I picked up. So they're there. I also picked up this Batman Beyond exclusive. This is the red foil. Batman Beyond. It's really nice. It has this nice shine to it, as you can see. Really good. It comes with a certificate as well. All right. This was a gorgeous cover that I just had to pick up, and that's the Catwoman Sotomaki covers. Been amazing, these covers. A nice little version cover. And I picked this book up by accident, not knowing what this book was. Um, it came out a few weeks ago, and I went to the shop because I get to go to my LCS as early as 8 in the morning over here, right? I go, I see it, I was like, this is an interesting looking cover. And I picked it up, and next thing you know, by the afternoon, I find out this book is an instant sellout, and it was going in the aftermarket for $40 that day, the same day it came out. So, and I picked it up just because I thought it was an interesting cover, and that's World's Finest.
Yeah.
This one right here. I didn't even know it was Jack White. I was like, oh, okay, it's Jack White. But the demand for this book, amazing. Now we'll talk about another gem I had. That I'll give you a little story about this book. I picked this book up in a dollar bin years ago.
Wow.
So long time ago, I picked up this book in a dollar bin in a convention. I have it still in great condition. I might even consider getting it slab, right?
Mm.
New Mutants 98. So I wouldn't call it a 9.8. It's probably more of a 9.4. But look at that. 99. I bought it in a 50 cents bin, one of those dollar bins. That's what it cost me to get this book. Right? Another book here that I got because I always collected these books, but this was a book that was part of the convention giveaway books that I got, and now this book is hot on demand. It's not a comic book, right? It's not a comic book, but you know, Wizard #1.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I got that. And again, when I was doing my reorganization, I found this book in my stash, and I was like, oh crap, I have this book. I had no idea I had this book. It's one of those nice moments where you say, yeah.
Nice.
And one thing I like to share with you that people don't know is that I buy my books when they first came out. So I am not a guy. Most of my collection is purchased the day it came out, it was released.
Wow.
And I picked this up on a Wednesday.
Wow.
And stuff like that. So it's always nice to do that. It's always nice to know that. So those are the comic books. Now, what I'm going to share with you, and this is going to be my last stash, is some books that you definitely got to go check it out. Some for what's going to happen. And I'll start with my all-time favorite superhero of all time. This is my absolutely favorite character, Warlock.
Nice.
This is the complete collection, collecting Strange Tales, Warlock, some Adventures Annual, and Marvel 2-in-1s. This is a cool book. I absolutely love Adam Warlock. He is my favorite character. I have his first appearance hanging in my wall up here. I got the first time he's been named Warlock. I have 2 copies of that, and I have a Marvel Milestone edition. I absolutely love Adam Warlock. I have statues of him. I don't know what it is, but I fell in love with him in Infinity Gauntlet. So that's why I love Adam Warlock. Now we're gonna go a little different here. This is a comic book, but it's not the type of comic book you think it should be. And it's a book. As an artist, as a writer, as a creator, this book is essential. And what I mean essential is essential to be a part of your collection, because if you want to really get to know comic books, you must buy this book. I'm not saying that you should buy this book. I'm saying you must buy this book. And that's Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. So this book, and what's great about it, it's written as a comic book. So you read it as you were reading a comic book, and it literally explains the science of comics. It is such a good read. It's actually a read that you could read really quickly because you're so embedded into it. Again, this is for anybody that's interested in getting into comics, getting to know comics, getting to understand comics. But if you just want to get a good understanding of how the genre is created and anything like that, I strongly recommend getting Understanding Comics. And finally, this is not really a trade, but this is a book. This was a book I got this as like, I think, a Christmas present, or a birthday present. And we just lost somebody a few months ago, and I when this individual passed away, I immediately went to this book and I just started watching it, and then of course I started tuning into the series, and I'm referring to Batman the Animated Series.
Oh wow,
this is gorgeous. So if you look at it, what it does, look at that. It just posters. It's almost like a poster book, of really cool little pictures and paintings that you could find. Absolutely love this book. This is gorgeous. Gorgeous book. I have it on display. Let me see if I can find. Look at that. If you remember watching the Trial of Batman, or one of my personal favorites is Christmas with the Joker. I love that. That is like a Christmas tradition for us. Like every Christmas we watch Christmas with the Joker. It's such a great cartoon. Harley and Ivy, really cool image of Harley and Ivy.
Oh yeah.
And this is like it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, this was also a great episode, The Laughing Fish. If you remember the last Laughing Fish, that episode where he was trying to patent the fish. Really good stuff here. Here it is. Here's the one I was looking for. Christmas with the Joker. It's perfect. So, this is a great book. This is a great coffee table book to have. And there you have it. That's just a small sample of what I have.
Wow. Man, those are some great books. That is awesome. Listen, hey, Izzy, thank you so much for being here tonight and for joining me. I know this is super late for you right now.
It's 12:18 in my place.
I know. So we're going to bring this puppy in for a landing. Thanks to everybody who was here. Make sure and hit up his both his Instagram and his YouTube channel, Izzyverse NYC. You can see more of his great content. He goes live Mondays at 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific. So make sure and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Thanks to everybody who was here tonight. I Don't Like Comics, Louis V. I saw y'all pop in. Also saw, where is he? Manny the Hobgoblin Collector. Wanted to say hey to you. Thank y'all for being here. El Green, thanks for doing that. Just it's always cool to see y'all on a Monday and just get a chance to hang out with you and share just the books and pop culture pickups we've been picking up over the past week to week and a half. Make sure and be here on Wednesday night for our spring break special episode of the giveaway show. That'll be on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Central. Also, if you're in the greater Houston area and you want to go to Pop Culture Power Show and you want to get 10% off your passes, you can do that by going to pwrshows.com and use the discount code Carlos Collects Comics. You'll get 10% off, plus you'll get a special free gift from me. The only other way you can get the free gift is from buying it. So make sure you do that, because this is coming up in just about 3 weeks. So it's going to be a really cool show. Looking forward to it and getting connected with some of these guys and getting some signatures and just seeing a bunch of people in person, getting a bunch of pictures. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you are not able to make it, you can go to pwrshows.com, and they're going to be doing mail-in submissions handled by our friend of the channel, Crest Niche Worldwide. Drew and his crew are going to be taking in books, getting them signed for you. They will press them also, and then they're going to submit them to CGC, because he is now a CGC Signature Series facilitator. So you can send in books for the Roy Thomas, Larry Hama, Andrew Wildman, Carlo Barberi. For any of those signatures, they're also going to have a bunch of voice actors, including the voice actors from G.I. Joe and Transformers. I had a couple of graphics here that I was gonna. Let me see if these are here. I don't have them with me, but yeah, they're doing a dinner with Destro, the voice of Destro from the '80s
Oh, that's cool.
series. Yeah, and then they're doing a brunch with Grimlock, the voice of Grimlock. Me and Grimlock, let's have some brunch, and they're going to be together. So they're going to have a lot of cool stuff around it. I think it's a pretty limited number of those passes. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure and check it out. pwrshows.com. Use the discount code Carl's Collects Comics. Get that 10% off and get the free gift from me. I'll be revealing that soon. But hey, thanks to all of y'all that were here. Mr. JM, good to see you. I Don't Like Comics. Thanks as always for you being here. But yeah, we have enjoyed hanging out with y'all, and we will see you on Wednesday for the spring break episode of the giveaway show. Until then, I'm Carl's Collects Comics, and this is Izzyverse NYC. And
Excelsior.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care.
Take care, guys.